Hey, Steve, thanks so much for joining us once again. This is your third
Second time.
appearance of second time on Good Movie Monday.
Yes.
Sure, I don't remember.
Back in the early days,
Second
back in the
today, I
early days, we
guess.
had
Second today, yes.
I think
Second today.
Connor
That's
and
right.
Adam were on the previous podcast back in the day.
Back in the day,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Probably for the editor, right? Didn't they come down for
They did,
Monster
but this
Fest?
was way back for I think the release of Manborg locally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yes.
Weird that I wasn't on.
I know, but I was just like a little amateur sort of podcaster back then and just sort of reached out directly. And I don't think I knew a whole lot
Okay.
about the production at that point in time and just reached out and they said, yeah, why not? So we've come a fair
Well,
way since then.
congrats on still doing it as well. Like, this is the kind of thing that can flare up and fizzle out pretty fast. So good job for sticking with it.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, I make a living out of it now, so yeah, it was worth pursuing.
That's awesome.
He's got an indomitable will. Because I mean,
and no
I
other
quit the
skills,
show
nothing else to do.
I quit the show after the second episode.
This is all pre-recorded stuff that you're
This
playing
is all,
right now?
yeah. we did 5 years of content in 2 months.
The wonders of AI.
Now, we do want to talk to you about Deathstalker, which is playing at Monster Fest this year. I'm curious, what drew you to the Deathstalker franchise out of all the 80s kind of sword and sorcery properties that you could have gone with? What was it about Deathstalker that hit the right spot?
I mean, it being available hit the right spot. But also, like, yeah, I have not necessarily like a childhood nostalgia for it. I only like knew of it as a kid growing up, like through my friends describing it to me and being like, "Oh, that movie sounds too intense for me." But I guess what drew it to me as an adult, as a filmmaker, was just an opportunity to play around in a fantasy movie sandbox. Um, it's a sandbox that I haven't gotten really to play in much outside of our Astron 6's Goreblade shorts from way back in the day, which was inspired by us watching Deathstalker and joking about kind of a off-brand hero named Goreblade. So it's a little bit of like my film career coming full circle and landing back where we started, but also just in terms of like where I'm at now with my filmmaking skills and skills as an effects artist and where I'm at with my career, being able to just make like a feature film that is in the fantasy space was really exciting to me. And also just, I liked the challenge of making my version of that type of movie because it's definitely my version of it. It's not necessarily just me following the beats of what came before. I don't think that necessarily would be a movie I'd be too interested in. So yeah, being able to put my own stamp on like the sword and sorcery fantasy genre was just really exciting to me because it meant, I'm getting out of like the sci-fi space of PG and into more yeah, like kind of medieval imagery and fantasy monsters and stuff. It was just really exciting to me.
Now, if someone were to hold a 3 or 4 bladed sword to your throat and ask you to rank the existing Deathstalker films in order of quality, what would your what would your rank be?
I mean, Deathstalker 2 is legitimately fucking awesome. I love
Yeah,
it.
look, we can stop it right now. That's really all I wanted to hear was
Yeah.
that
Well,
Deathstalker
because it's
2 is
like
the best of the franchise.
it goes without saying, I'll say it anyway, like Jim Wynorski knows how to make a fun movie. That guy
Yeah.
is a really skilled, underrated filmmaker, in my opinion, in the genre space. I feel like most of the stuff he touches is entertaining on some level, even with like working with next to no budget in some cases. And Deathstalker 2, he just made like a fun swashbuckling adventure. And that's all I wanted to do with my movies. Like I just want to do like my version of that that's like silly in a Steve Kostanski sort of way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like Deathstalker 2, you could just watch that one and you'll get all the flavor of that universe. Though I will say I watched 4 fairly recently. And that one was all right. It had some fun parts to it. But yeah, 2 is where it's at.
I'll just
2
jump
They've
in for a
got
second. Oh, hang on, Ben. I'll jump in for a second. I just want to say that
Yeah.
Jim Wynorski is like one of our dream guests to have on this show, and he's one of the easiest gets, I'm sure. However, Ben's too chicken shit to actually have the conversation with him.
I love him. I love all of his films. I love everything about him. I love Popatopoulos, but I don't think I'd be able to open my mouth and talk to him if we actually got the show. It'd just
I
be
mean,
like, what was the one? Yeah, Tracy Lord's
Yeah.
questions and stupid shit like that.
What is because we were just talking about this on another podcast. What's the Jim Wynorski movie where it's like the lingerie models in a high rise and it's like kind of Die Hard.
Oh, is that no limits or no content? Was that with Shannon Tweed and Hard
I
to
don't
Kill?
remember.
Maybe
I think it might be Hard to Kill.
Hard to Kill.
Yeah, I think it's Hard to Kill because it is something of Die Hard adjacent in title. But yeah, we put that on in the shop not that long ago and like never heard of it and instantly was pulled in and was like, this is fun. Why is this fun? Oh, because it's Jim Wynorski, of course.
100%.
There's something to be said. There's a series of great Die Hard knockoffs, and Hard to Kill is one of them. And the other one is there's one with Andrew Dice Clay and Rowdy Roddy Piper and Shannon Tweed and Robert Davi, which is also excellent. I highly recommend.
My
I
favorite's
think
the Dean Cain one, the Christmas one in the shopping mall where he plays a security guard.
Oh, that one was shot in my hometown of Winnipeg, Manitoba.
I love it.
At
You're right. Wow.
yeah, it was at Portage Place Mall. I think they shot that
There you
at.
go.
Yeah, and I remember back in the day being like, "Wow, it's like there's a real Hollywood movie shooting here."
How little did you know?
Yeah, this straight to video Die Hard knockoff.
Yeah, starring TV's Superman, which is
Yes.
the best.
Well, it had Bruce Glover in there as well, I think.
Oh, really?
I think so. Is that the guy from Smallville?
No, that's
John Glover. John Glover.
John Glover.
John Glover. Anyway, I digress.
Isn't Bruce Glover Crispin Glover's dad?
Yeah, he's dead.
The one
Yeah,
from-
anyway.
Yeah.
Carry on. Sorry, I derailed
Some
you.
kind of
there.
glove.
He's a Glover.
He's a Glover. There are a lot of Glovers.
Yeah.
Bruce, yeah, he's in the other. He's in Smallville though, the one you're thinking.
Yeah.
of. Not Lois and Clark, the New Adventures of Superman.
Although actually, really quickly, Ben mentioned the four-bladed sword. And his name's Talon, I think, in the movie. Is that a direct Sword and the Sorcerer homage?
Oh, have you guys watched Deathstalker? Sorry,
Yes.
not to,
Yeah.
okay. I guess I should have cleared that up first. I thought I was just gonna like vaguely talk about the movie, but okay, if you've seen it, then yes, that is the Sword and the Sorcerer. I
I was
was
going to
like,
say is Doodad. Doodad bears a striking resemblance, not a physical resemblance, but a character resemblance to a certain creator of a cosmic key in another fantasy franchise.
yeah, it's a little Gwildor, but it's also a little yogurt from Baseball.
Yeah.
Of course. Love it.
But yeah, I like it. I hope people appreciate that my creative logic with that sword was like, oh, that the Sword and the Sorcery one had 3 blades, mine's gonna have 4, and that's as far as my brain could go. It's like, well, I'll just put one more, and then I'm calling it a night.
Oh,
I'm
mate.
done.
Well,
And then
where Ben is like a tragic Wynorski fan, I'm a tragic Pune fan. So, like, I appreciate the shit out of that.
I mean, yeah, I like both those guys. Have you seen Pune's? It's called Knights, I think.
Yeah, with Chris Christopherson and
Yeah.
Lance
Yes.
Henriksen. Yeah, love it. I've got the director's cut up on the shelf.
Crazy movie.
Yeah.
Was not expecting what I got. I love that guy. And I'm just realizing this comparison now, but he's got like a bit of a Hideo Kojima thing to his storytelling, where I feel like he's just like unstoppably creative with his like weird worlds that he comes up with. Like I think of like Nemesis and just how like weirdly dense it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's just I don't know, like
What was it, Alien from LA?
Oh yeah.
With the
Oh yeah.
which is like he completely screws over Jodorowsky's like subterranean world with his own subterranean Los Angeles, which is
but
like
like
phenomenal.
but he's like was infinitely resourceful, like in a Wynorski sort of way. But I just feel like that guy just had just all sorts of crazy stories he wanted to tell and worlds he wanted to build, and you just like couldn't like dampen it down. Like you couldn't be like, hey, could you like make this simpler for people? It's like no, it was always like a weirdly convoluted narrative with
Yeah.
like
In
here
the
Yeah.
like
Oh, well, look,
building
the
super
big
specific.
the big difference between Pune and Wynorski, and it comes up in Popatopoulos, where Wynorski is given the choice between another set of boobs or some lights. Pune would have taken the lights. Wynorski takes the boobs.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's the difference is I think Pyun like really like Wynorski's making movies and Pyun's making cinema,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
Like I
Yeah.
think
yeah,
he's like or at least he's perceiving it as that.
Although Ben
Um
Pune did
yeah.
give us the three-titted woman, so you know,
He is responsible. Yeah, he does. He's
vicious
out.
lips,
He's out
vicious lips.
boobed. He's
that's
out
true.
boobed Wynorski.
He's a
Wynorski.
boob master.
Wynorski used to just like getting women from soap operas and stuff to take their tops off, whereas Pune was creative with the boobs.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like,
Yes. Creative and muscular with the boobs.
yeah,
yeah,
Nemesis 4.
yeah,
Yes.
or
Yeah, what was that one
Ravenhawk.
called? It's like Cry of Angels.
Yeah, remember
Which
we interviewed Sue Price and she's like, it wasn't my body. I'm like, yeah, it was definitely your body.
sure.
Anyway, sorry Ben, off
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
Well,
gotta
like
love that auteur mentality that they
go.
both have.
Yeah.
well, I did want to ask, considering that we have just spent the last 5 minutes talking about Jim Wynorski, the original Deathstalker is kind of notorious for its handling of women. The women, the women.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing like the kind of the exploitation that happens in the original Deathstalker film, which doesn't happen in your film. You just talk a bit about. Do you think that exploitation still exists as a genre, and is there still a place for gratuitous nudity in cinema, or is that time past?
I mean, if there is, I don't know if I'm the filmmaker to figure that out. Like, it seemed like yeah, that was a tough thing to navigate initially, but for me, like it really just boiled down to it didn't interest me. Like it's one of those things. I felt it even like on our past like Astron 6 stuff, like on Father's Day. It's like, we've got like excessive nudity in that. And I don't know, I just like I don't care. Like that's not why I got into making movies. I didn't get into it because like I can't wait to put women on the camera and
Some
make them take
boobs.
their tops off.
I mean,
Like
the answer was in Ben's question because that's the reason all of your pictures get rejected, mate.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I've never made a film. Because it's always like, imagine a pair of boobs have a four-bladed sword, and that never
yeah.
goes. Never goes
Or it's just
anywhere.
yeah. It's just imagine a pair of boobs and then
Yeah,
period.
that's right.
What do you
What do
mean
you
you
think?
don't want those?
The possibilities are limitless.
But I genuinely think there is a place for like nudity and sexuality in movies. I'm not a prude. I just know what I like creatively, and I like what can I say? I'm horny for monsters fighting
What
more than
about demon
anything.
boobs?
So, demon boobs?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you like that movie The Unholy? Yeah, those are pretty good.
What's that great
Well,
South
see,
Park
yeah, here's
episode
the
where
thing. It's like, I mean, you can't say I don't have boobs in my movie because technically I do. I did, I did a little bit of a cheat, which I won't spoil here. People can watch the movie and find out. But there's boobs and technically a dick in there too. So, they're just not in the way that's appealing in any sort of fashion.
To us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you've often worked in projects that have limited budgets but big imagination behind them. What were the most challenging parts of Deathstalker? What were the you know
Uh, the whole fucking movie, I guess. Like, I don't know. Have you guys ever tried like putting horses in a movie? It's a whole thing. Trying to get a horse. It's like a lot of work. It's just like, yeah, this was a tough one. It was a lot of things to navigate. It was very ambitious in a way that I couldn't do on my own. It required a big team. And so, yeah, it was like it was difficult really like getting the money on the screen in the way that I wanted it.
Mhm.
And it did eventually devolve into what all my movies turn into, which is me and a few friends in my effects shop shooting inserts. I like forced Adam to help me shoot some miniatures at one point. Uh, like just doing it real on the cheap. Like there's some real budget stuff happening in this movie. Like you cannot criticize this movie for not being authentically low budget because it 100% is at every level. Like we really had to beg, borrow, steal, scrape to make this thing have the scope that it has because it's definitely my biggest movie.
Mhm.
But at the same time feels like I was navigating the same budget issues that I've had on every movie, just more of them. So
more of them?
it was a real challenge, but the team was amazing. Like honestly, like the best crew I've ever had, and working with Daniel Bernhardt and his team, like they really stepped up. Uh, just like I don't know, just like the star power and the scope and the quality of the fighting of the movie, it just brought it to a whole other level. It made it into a new kind of crazy thing.
Yeah.
Like brought me into a new world of filmmaking that I wasn't expecting to be brought into, you know. So
Daniel
that
Byrne.
part
Then
it was
sorry.
all worth it. The hell of making it was totally worth it for what we were able to achieve on this movie.
I think it looks fucking epic, mate. Daniel Bernhard may as well be a drinking game on our show because we do reference him quite a lot, and I was so thrilled to see him in the lead here. But him and Nina Bergman have worked together, I think, a couple of times before. Did they have like a really good chemistry coming into this from the outset?
Oh yeah, I mean, like their real life relationship informed their on-screen relationship, and yeah, it like I don't know. I had auditioned a bunch of people for Grendel, for like the leader of the Thieves Guild, and Nina was actually the one that brought in this idea of like, oh, what if we suggest there was like kind of a past relationship here, like beyond just a professional relationship, and uh, once she like brought that element in, I felt like it just elevated that whole sequence and turned it into its own little mini movie. It's like one of my favorite parts of the film now is their interaction because I feel like so much story is happening in their conversation and just the way that Deathstalker is treating her. Yeah, really impressed with how that happened. Daniel brought like a bunch of his like people that he's worked with before onto the project. Uh, like Paul Lazenby, who plays Joe Tack, is a friend of his, and yeah, they have they have a great dynamic, and he brought a real crazy energy to the film, real good bad guy energy. So yeah, I really on the cast side of things, like lucked out. It was pretty amazing being able to just throw these people on camera and torment them in the same way that I torment my Astron 6 friends.
I was gonna. That was my next question was going to be: do you come from the Sam Raimi school of filmmaking, where you basically the movie is just created around how best to torture your friends
Yeah.
in terms of
Well, I
prosthetics
mean, we can. Well, I mean, it's funny because like Adam, Matt, Connor are all in there, but but like Connor just had like the easiest day ever compared to Adam, who got to lay on some like molten rock all day. And then Matt, who kept sending him back to makeup to make him dirtier because I just wanted them to make it look like he'd been rolling in shit all day. And then gave him that bowl of oatmeal and made him eat it with his bare hands instead of using a utensil. So, yes, I like torturing my boys. I don't think there's anything.
So good, so good. You have a character in here called Brisbane, so if there's an Australian cut, you'll need to rename her Brisbane, just so you know. Like,
That's fine.
yeah.
I'm okay. I mean, I won't be able to finance that redubbing myself, but I
Oh,
support it.
that's down to the Australian distributor. It'll just
Yeah, yeah,
they'll just
they'll
get
figure.
someone like me to do it. So it would just be a random, you know,
Bloke's
and
voice.
now is the time for Brisbane to come. It'd be like
Yeah.
really bad dubbing job.
That was a really.
I mean, but it would
that
be
was bad.
appropriate to the era that we're emulating. So
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Well, that was one of those interesting things. I'm curious. Like the whole film was shot in Canada, I believe. Was there ever a talk
Yep.
of taking it down to Europe or to South America, where a lot of these '80s exploit like sword and sandal films were made? Because around every corner there's a castle and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it
You
was
know,
my big concern shooting this in Canada. I was like, this kind of doesn't make sense. Like we don't have crumbling castles just floating around. Um, and yeah, early on, like, when the sky's the limit and you're not having any real conversations about budget, like, yeah, of course we're like, oh, maybe we shoot some of it in Argentina, like the first Deathstalker. But like those conversations fizzled out instantly when we realized, like, oh, we got like pocket change to get this thing made. So yeah, like most of it was shot Northern Ontario, a little bit in Toronto, a little bit in my basement in Winnipeg, those previously mentioned miniatures. But yeah, it was I went on a scout in Sudbury, Ontario, and I scouted a few quarries there, and that's when the gears started turning for me, and I realized like, oh, okay, like I think I could make this work because I on the page I did want a wasteland kind of flavor to the whole thing. I wanted to feel desolate and kind of miserable. And yeah, I visited this one quarry that really looked like the surface of another planet. It's where the opening battle takes place. And yeah, I just loved it so much. I was like, I don't think we need to try to go anywhere else because like have it. Like we've got plenty of practical locations here, and then yeah, a lot of it I wanted to be in studio anyway as well, because that's just a look that I really love. One of my kind of weird offbeat reference points for this movie was that live action Fist of the North Star movie from the early '90s, which
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
whole movie is shot indoors, even when it's supposed to be like outside, like in a big wide open like Vista type space. So I just like how weird that is. So I wanted some of that with Deathstalker. So yeah, there's like the swamp set that we used for the meeting with the Thieves Guild. Like I just love how that feels fake in a theatrical fantasy sort of way. Like it just feels right. It feels kind of like Krull. Like a lot of this movie feels like
Yeah.
Krull. Um, like I think I made Krull by accident. It was supposed to be Deathstalker. I think I made um, but
I love it.
yeah, like I just when I made that connection of like, okay, I've got these quarries that look cool, plus we have studio stuff like sets and things, and the look of these movies is sets primarily. Then I figured like, all right, I think we can make Canada work for this. So yeah, we got there. It just took a bit of creative thinking to get to it.
To do it. Now, look, I don't want to take up too much more of your time. I do have two very quick questions.
Yep.
Well, one very quick question, then one maybe not. I noticed that Slash is an executive producer of this film. How did that happen?
Berserker gang.
Yeah, I mean he's teamed up with the Raven Banner guys to make
Yeah,
movies.
right.
I mean, he's a big genre fan. Was very excited to be attached to this one, be involved.
Part
He
of it.
came up to set, came up to visit. It was pretty awesome. Certainly
Did
boosted
he,
crew morale having that guy just kind of puttering
Hundred
around.
percent.
does
Yeah.
he travel with a guitar at all times? Like on? I assume that's just like his like I put on
That's
jeans.
what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping for, but sadly, no.
No, or a
No, it
top
was
hat at
like a
least.
pretty,
Top hat.
not that either. You know, now that I think
No.
on it, it was all just a big disappointment. He really like
That's right.
no, like he was just like such a sweet, chill guy, like just enthusiastic. It's nice. Nice having somebody uh, you know, with that kind of success and fame come down and just because he's passionate about this type of project. So
Very cool.
yeah,
Ben,
very
our podcast Instagram follows his production company, so you go check it out.
Oh, okay, there we go. I don't tend to go on that too much because then I end up making inappropriate comments in the name of the podcast, which I don't like to.
And you
I
have,
save that for my own.
and you have to watch yourself.
And I have to walk it back. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to be so offensive. And the very last question is: if you had to give someone a homework assignment of 5 films to watch before watching Deathstalker to kind of get into the mood, what would they be?
Crow.
Nights.
Yeah, Knights. Deathstalker 2. Shogun Assassin.
Ooh.
Ninja
Awesome.
Scroll.
Oh yeah.
Mortal Kombat. And then go play the 90s PC game Heretic.
Oh
And
yeah, what a great game. Yeah.
and then play Diablo for a little bit. Trying to think what other homework I should give them. I guess the Sword and the Sorcerer would be a good one to watch as well. Like that one definitely has a bit of influence on this. Maybe play some Golden Axe.
Yeah. Or Gauntlet 2.
And you know what?
Gauntlet 2.
So do what?
Play a little Gauntlet 2, or maybe that's just me.
Yeah, well, sure, why not? Throw it in there.
It's too old. That's a couple of generations of arcade / home entertainment system generations prior to Golden. I think Golden Axe was like Nintendo.
Well, I thought that was Sega Genesis and arcade. It was arcade as well.
And arcade, yeah. And Gauntlet 2. I mean, Gauntlet 2. I had on my Amiga 500, which is
he's an old man. He's an old man.
Old man. Yeah, but there is an arcade version of it. There's a new one that you could have with.
There's a new one. Oh, okay.
There's a new like that. Yeah, they in about 10 years ago they redid it. And they had Gauntlet 3 arcade game. It was like a 4-player, big kind of unit, and you still had the classic elf is hungry, and you have to go and find food for him to eat before you go killing ghouls and goblins and stuff. It's good.
I mean, that's pretty sick.
just I think 50% of the viewing audience just dropped off. They fell asleep just then.
That's awesome. What a way to like wrap up that tangent.
That's why Glenn doesn't let me do many of them.
Well, I mean, I think that's all the homework I can give. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of stuff. I think maybe if I can swing it with Cinema Nova, we'll put those movies on in the loop in the cafe bar that they have. They have a TV screen. I don't know if they play the audio. But
I see what you were doing there.
On a loop.
That's what it was
actually,
about.
I have okay. There's a couple things you can add to the homework list. Because of Daniel, you should add watch all of Mortal Kombat Conquest, the series. And then also watch Bloodsport 4, The Dark Kumite.
Yes, where he plays a different character to all the previous ones.
Yeah, but that's the one I was watching like when the talks about doing Deathstalker first started, and I was watching that and I was like, man, I got to put this guy in a movie. Because like it's just that movie's so weird and he's so like stoic and serious in it. I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to like surround this guy with equally or more dumb shit than what's going on in Bloodsport.
But great timing because his career's had like a revival with John Wick and these other things. So it's really good timing.
Oh yeah,
and the best episode of Barry, of all time, the single best episode of television ever made.
Yeah, like last year when we shot the movie, like that was his busiest year he's had. He said like in like decades almost. Like he just was going flying from one movie to the next all year.
Yeah,
It was great.
yeah,
So I love that he's got a big comeback. He deserves it. I think he's awesome.
agreed.
Like he's just like
It's a,
great actor, great fighter, great guy.
it's amazing that he did play two different characters in the one franchise in
Bloodsport.
uh, Bloodsport, when he's also done that in John Wick.
Yeah, that's right.
Like he's played, I think he's appeared in as a henchman in every one of those films, or at least the first and the last one, and the ballerina. He's definitely
Well, I mean,
two different characters.
because that guy, because he works like, you know, in the action world, he's able to just slot into all of these projects because it's like they're like a tight community. They're all buddies. So, similar to my Astron boys, it's
Yep.
he's able to get into all these projects. And I felt like that was part of the inspiration for my direction for the Deathstalker character. Was like I wanted him to be this experienced guy who's been through a lot of shit, and Daniel is like the definition of a star that's been through a lot because he's physically battling his way through a lot. So yeah, he's just a perfect fit for the character.
All right. Thank you so much for this, Stephen. We really appreciate you coming on the show and talking about Deathstalker. That was that was my favorite interview that I've been a part of, and the one that I've hosted. So that was I mean, admittedly, there's only been two, but of the two, that was definitely the best one.
Okay, good.
The other one was the guy who directed Sky Sharks, which is another amazing piece of exploitation cinema.
Oh, nice.
That you should definitely check out. It has an all-star cast, completely shot on green screen. It's fucking
Sweet.
It's amazing.
I know.
It's amazing.
I know what that feels like. I've been there. You guys have played that movie.
Yeah.
Who is he? They say he was once a knight. Before the war against the Dreadites. Surgeon with a sword. Oh, wow. He answers to only one name.
I? What name would that be? Deathstalker. My old friend. Come and get it. The mighty Deathstalker!